Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Packaged and shipped discreetly. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcast from. I am Andrew, broadcasting next to the man who hasn't eaten cereal in 20 years. It's Dick Special K Schisler.
It's a true story.
It's true. It's so true. That and bubblegum, I don't get you. Both of those are some of the true delights of our time.
Well, I definitely have noticed as I get older, my routine, especially when it comes to like the diet and everything, I feel like if you're a cereal person after you left your home, you know, after high school, then you're going to be a cereal person like forever. You know, I never ate cereal in college. Never.
You just don't stop, man. You keep going. You know, I believe our buddy John Skeels, who wrote our wonderful intro song, is also not a cereal eater, but he'll have to confirm. And he also did contact me and say, you know, when you had Petty Eddie on, you should have talked to him about the weird way that he eats pancakes from the inside out.
Oh, that's
if you
right.
Remember.
Yeah.
So odd. So, yeah, we did not bring that up. Our apologies. But, hey, I think a congratulations is in order today, bud.
Yeah?
It is episode number 50 for us.
There we go. I don't even know.
That's right. I'm 50, as Molly Shannon would say.
Well, congratulations to the
Yeah,
listeners.
man.
You guys are so lucky that we've been around for 50 episodes.
It's coming up on 1 year anniversary. I can't wait to celebrate.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do something special. I don't know what that might
Hopefully
be.
it's a calendar that involves cats that are pooping.
No one wants to
That
see
would
a cat
be that
poop.
would be great. I'm glad you got to see your calendar being shown.
That's right, in action. I got to see it, so I'm glad to know that you're getting some use out of it.
And then we are writing the movies we watch on them.
I did see some writing on it, and I was wondering what that was all about.
Yeah, so whenever we watch something in the saloon, we're going to put it on there, so we just have a record that we watched it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that my calendar is a formal record for you and your movie watching endeavors.
Yeah. Well, folks, I hope you guys had a good weekend. January's off to a great start.
Rock and roll and start. How's your dry January going?
Oh, it's going really good. You noticed on Saturday that I was completely dry.
You know,
Sahara Desert
fell
dry.
right off the wagon, did you? Oh, darn.
I didn't do dry January, so I didn't lose anything.
That's right. That's right.
You know, it's funny. I had Southern Star Brewery in this morning, and they were talking about how dry January hurts their business. And I was like, well, yeah, but do a lot of people? I didn't know dry January was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it is an actual thing or it's something that people like to talk about on social.
But I mean, like even I'm talking about last year.
Oh, no, it's been around for years.
I've
heard about it for years.
The only time I ever heard about it was actually after New Year's. My friends in Austin were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do dry January this year."
No,
it's
been going on forever.
And I was like, "Okay, cool. I guess like what's the point of that?"
I guess it has caught on to a certain degree because I have heard that bar owners do see a dip in their sales in January.
Yeah.
And so
there
must be something to it.
Well, I thought he was talking more.
I'm trying to make up for it, bar owners, so you're welcome.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I thought he was talking more about people going to the gym and like trying to
that happens
live
too.
a better life. But, you know, I totally didn't even consider that. I was like, I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do and, you know, drink some beer.
That's right. I kind of picture a kid running through a sprinkler. I'm like, that's me rolling through dry January.
Yeah, that's basically what's happening with me.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so we hung out this weekend. We had some good food, didn't we?
We did. We had good food and watched some sports on TV. It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, it's so funny. I had such a great time on Saturday. I forgot Sunday existed. And
that doesn't make sense.
And when people were talking about the football games, I was like, oh, there's football games on today. Like, I totally didn't even connect that.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize that football games were on Saturday. I didn't put two and two together. It's like, oh, that's right. This is the time of year where games are on Saturday.
That's because the Cowboys aren't in it. and there's
Yes,
so many
painful
memes
reminder.
about
It's
the Cowboys.
Too many memes, in my opinion. But
I like it.
yeah.
I think it's well deserved.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're the most popular. You're also the most hated, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
Whatever.
I guess.
Hey, man, I saw this sign in the airport the other day, and I wanted to bring it to air. And it was the sign that said, "Stop human trafficking."
Stop it.
Yes, just stop, guys. And I thought at first, while this is certainly a worthwhile endeavor, right? Nobody wants to have human trafficking and all the negative side effects that may have. But then I got to thinking about it.
Stop it.
Yeah, stop it. That sure is a lot of pressure to put on me, man. Because, maybe not just me, but maybe another flyer in the airport. You look at that sign like, man, I'm just nervous about making a connecting flight right now. Maybe I'm nervous about flying, and now you're putting all this pressure on me to stop human trafficking, and they gave all these signs to look for. I thought, good God, man, is it really to a problem where we have to have the average person,
Well,
I guess,
and this is going to sound
police it?
completely ignorant, but I don't
lot
know.
of pressure,
I
man.
don't know if you ever seen those trafficking warnings at at hospitals and everything, where it's like, take this sticker and put this on like your paperwork if you're being trafficked.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen anything like this? So it's like they have them at doctor's offices, like especially like OBGYNs and like other
what a
places.
great idea,
So
though.
it's like, so you're not verbally saying anything,
You
but
just sort of take it
like
in that
when
way.
you go to the Lay's restroom, there's like a thing you can take, and it's like
I
a
wonder
sign.
what the sign is. Is it like an upside down pineapple, or
Well, no, it's like a sticker. It's
Yeah,
like a
but what-
blue sticker.
just like a blue dot?
Yeah, and it's just like, just put it on your paperwork.
This sounds like something you would do as a prank. You go and grab
Oh,
one of
yeah.
these, start slapping these on people's backs.
No, but what I always thought about though is, especially people who
Blink
work,
your eyes twice. Blink your eyes
well,
twice.
people who work at a hospital, like, and this is no slight against hospital workers.
Yeah.
You're great, but I always feel,
we must have them. Essential, some might say.
Yeah, but I always feel like with the people who I know, like they're not paying attention for that kind of stuff. So when it does come up, I have a feeling everyone freezes because they're like,
Right.
what are we supposed to do?
She took the blue dot sticker.
Like,
she took the blue dot
And,
sticker.
like,
Don't
what
look
do
at her.
we
Don't
do?
look at her.
Yeah,
Don't look at her.
What do we do? And
But no, that's awesome though that does
yeah,
exist.
they have other stuff like that.
And I bet you there are success stories of people who have been
100%.
Rescued based off of their sticker. That's
But,
great, man. That's
but
great.
yeah, I'm sorry that the airport's telling you how to live your life,
It's
though.
kind of strange. I just looked at it and said, man, that's again a lot of pressure to put on somebody to try and stop. I mean, I read the sign. I guess it was on the way out of the bathroom. Kind of glanced at it. I didn't commit
What,
it to
is this
memory.
in Houston?
No, this was in Detroit, I think.
Okay.
I think the Detroit airport. I don't know. I've been to a lot of them here lately.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, last week was awesome with Petty Eddie in. Again, thank you, Eddie, for coming in. And we talked about this is the time of year for Girl Scout cookies. And I haven't yet seen the little girls outside of the store just yet, but I know it's coming. But to me, I always stop. I always buy cookies. I just love the little girls there, and I always like to talk to them. Oh, yeah, and, make them do their little spiel. But what really annoys me about this whole thing are the more modern-day Girl Scout cookie parents who set up like an online shop, or they sell them at their work or whatever. And then afterwards, they start bragging about like how little Sasha sold 42 grand of Thin Mints. It's like, no, Sasha didn't. Sasha needs to stand out there in the cold, and she needs to approach perfect strangers and put the work in. That annoys the
Well, that's
hell
where
out of me.
technology is going, man. Like,
Yeah, but then don't brag that your daughter did it. She didn't do it. Come on, you set it up.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a team effort. That's what family is.
Right? Yeah, I suppose. I mean, in the end,
I mean, what I love about those, if you have that mindset, that means the daughter's on everything. So you got to take the name down. You got to get the credit card. You got to get all that stuff. I'm not helping you at all. If you screw up these orders, it's on you. So you can imagine all the parents calling you. And you're like, your daughter screwed up. I'm like, that's not me. That's her. You want to call the Department of Complaints or whatever? Here, I hand the phone to her. She's like, hello. And but yeah,
call GoDaddy for hosting the website that
Yeah.
screwed up your processing.
I mean, I like it.
PayPal.
I like it though, because
In the end, the Girl Scouts get more money, so I guess they're benefiting from it if they can move more boxes. Right?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I always thought the Girl Scouts were the answer to Boy Scouts, and growing up,
the answer to.
Well, like-
meaning that the Boy Scouts have been around longer, and the girls said, "Hey, we need something
or
to
they
do
might
too."
have been the same. But I meant more of like, so I know growing up, and I knew like my best friend was in the Boy Scouts. They had facilities. They had, an infrastructure
like
that
a
the money goes to.
Yeah, I feel like a sexist moment is about to come out of
But
your
no,
mouth.
but I'm thinking of
I'm
the Girl
prepared.
Scouts. I don't know, like, because the Boy Scouts of America used to have a huge building in Houston.
Yeah.
Where you could go. I think they had like a gym and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, what do the Girl Scouts have? Like, I know they have the same setup as like the Cub Scouts, where it's like the den mother and all that kind of stuff. But like, what's that money going to? Is it going towards their badges or something? Like,
I don't know. Would you like for me to do an investigative report?
I would
get behind the scenes on the Girl Scouts.
Well, because I remember when
where is this? Why is this box $20?
Several
box of cookies.
Several
$20.
years ago, I would say at least like 10 years ago, the Boy Scouts had like a huge tract of land right here at the Loop 336 and 45 South. They sold it to developers to build houses. And I remember my dad saying something about it, and I was like, so what does that mean for the Boy Scouts? Like, they don't have a campground anymore? Like, isn't that the whole idea of, like, you go on camping trips and stuff?
Yeah.
And now they don't have that. So I was like, so what's the point of being in Boy Scouts if you can't go camping?
I think what has happened, and I am talking out of a different orifice that is not my mouth at this moment, but I think that the population of Boy Scouts and the population has dwindled quite a bit over the years. Yeah, that's part of it.
But, I mean, still, though, it's like...
And so they can't afford, or no, maybe they don't need all of the fancy camps that they had at their disposal. I don't know, just guessing.
Well, I want to ask those who are listeners that know anything about this is give me an answer about what's the current state of the Boy Scouts and what's the current state of the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, our text line, whatever that might be at the bottom of the screen. Call that or text that, actually. Leave us a message. Tell us about the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, and I wish I did. But I'm not really worried about it, especially now that it's like a mafia thing. So maybe I shouldn't even talk about it. But yeah, Girl Scout cookies are okay. They're fine.
Yeah, they are okay. But again, you got to sell them the right way. All right, let's get into the show because we have got a lot to talk about. Maybe this first story is probably better suited when we have the Beer Mile guys back on. But did you hear the story about the 52-year-old Chinese man who was running a marathon, and he ran it in 3.5 hours, which is pretty darn impressive. However, he was disqualified. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this is one of these stories that Andrew always brings up where someone gets in the car and cheats. No. He was disqualified because he was chain smoking the entire time.
You're not allowed to smoke?
I guess not. Now, my question is, we all know that this is not some sort of performance enhancer, if anything, right? How? I mean, what's in them cigarettes, right? Unbelievable, but apparently this is not the first time he's done this. This is kind of his shtick that and I've got the link in there if you want to post a picture of him. You can see him just running along there with a lung dart just hanging out of his mouth as he's competing in this.
Oh, dude, this guy's awesome.
It is amazing, right?
This guy's awesome.
But it says the rule bans runners from smoking went into effect 2 years ago. So he knew what he was doing, did it anyways, and they banned him. Yeah, man. And he's 52 years old. 3.5 hours is a pretty impressive feat for a young guy, also for a 52-year. And for smoking at the same time, I say let the guy rip on it, man. How crazy. Did you show the picture of him?
Yeah, I showed him.
That is awesome.
Amazing.
Maybe that could be the next event. I didn't think about that. For the Beer Mile, it'd be the Smoke Mile.
Yes, smoke this whole cig.
You just got to rip through a pack. And it's how fast can you rip through a pack while running maybe a 5K? I don't know how long does it take to smoke a cigarette, Dick?
I don't know.
Oh no, you get real defensive.
I mean, I smoked a cigar. I wasn't smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. So. That's an average of just over 8 minutes a mile. Dude, that is pretty baller. All with a lung dart hanging out. Amazing. Dick, have you ever been in an RV while it was moving?
Yeah.
Yeah? And I don't know that I have, to be honest with you, but I would imagine that you probably forget that you're in an automobile, for a minute, because it looks like, your house. It's got a couch and a TV and a little potty in the back so you can do your business. And you probably forget that, you're cruising around at 70 miles an hour.
It's nuts. Because I've driven one. And
oh, yeah.
That is always like, the RVs are great when they're not moving, but when you're driving and you want to use the restroom, it's kind of like on an airplane where you're like, you don't feel like you should be just walking around.
Right.
And I can totally get it.
Yeah, well, the reason I bring this up because this story just broke from the New York Post. It says former ESPN broadcaster was thrown from his RV on a busy California highway because he was walking around in his RV, and his wife was driving, and apparently they were on Freeway 14, and he gets up to use the restroom, and his wife falls asleep, runs off the road, and he gets thrown through the window out onto the street and is lucky to be alive. He says, we were 10 minutes from home. I stood up to use the restroom, and at that moment, my wife dozed off. Ooh, can you imagine that? They hit a concrete divider going 60 miles an hour, and he shoots through the front windshield. Can you believe that?
They said there's dash cam footage. I'm going to try to
Probably,
find it.
and of course, there were a lot of people there on the scene, and what's the first thing they do?
Take pictures of them.
Right, they got to get it out, put it on their gram. That's what people do these days. I'll give you a help and render aid here in a second, but first I got to put this on my Facebook reel. Unbelievable. But the guy is really lucky to be alive. The road rash, of course, is absolutely horrible. And it's horrific, man.
Whoa, dude. Here, I'm going to pull it up for people who are watching on YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
pretty.
say-
It's
oh, I
pretty.
get it.
Oh, you've got actual footage. Oh, is this going to get us
No,
non-monetized from YouTube or something?
No. It's from Channel 5 in California.
Oh,
dog.
so it must be fine. Is this
So
the
he's just laying, like, yeah, here's, like, right there.
Oh, yes. There we see him for the people who are just on podcast. This video shows him literally flying out of the side. I guess he didn't go through the front windshield. I guess he went
I
through the
don't really
side
know.
because the front windshield looked intact. And he is tumbling head over heels on the highway and does not look like this is a good day
What
for
a
him.
strange way to, like, live your day. Like, oh, we're almost home. Let me use the restroom real quick.
10 minutes from the house.
And what I want to know is, how did you not know your wife was going to fall asleep? Because I've been in situations where we road trip with, like,
Sure.
family members. And
Sure.
once you start getting tired, you don't say, like, oh, we can make it.
Especially if there's another available driver, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was anticipating the footage being at night because I thought, oh, she fell asleep. That's broad daylight.
Yeah.
But maybe they'd been driving for a long, long time.
Oh, man. That's intense.
It really is. It really, really is, man. So sometimes, Dick, when I'm looking at these stories, there are headlines that just scream, this is an audience of one headline. And really, all I want to do is read the headline. Dick, get this from WCCO Radio in Minneapolis. Man shoots himself in the leg while playing basketball at elementary school open house. I read that and said, oh, yes, thank you. The news gods are shining down upon thee. So I'm guessing this dude attended his child's open house.
Yeah.
Looked out and saw a pickup game going on the courts and said, oh, yeah, this is my time to dominate. Those are 8-foot rims. I'm going to show these kids what it's all about. But just in case it gets a little out of control, I'm going to take my snub-nosed .38 Kimber with me. And he went out and played.
Yeah,
It was unholstered, and he shot himself in the leg while playing basketball. Good God.
I mean, it does amaze me how people with firearms don't understand, because I still get ads. This is where you get scared with the AI and the people who put ads together for you, like Google and stuff.
Sure, man.
There was a period I was only getting, like, hidden gun holsters,
Oh, yeah.
and it was just, like, getting slapped
So you can
everywhere,
pack
like
your
on
heat
Instagram.
discreetly.
Yeah, but it was like quick release, all this kind of stuff, and I was like, I don't want that. Like, why does it keep showing?
I
me?
want slow release.
Well, it's just like.
no, I know.
It was just funny to me, and then I always thought about people who, because I know several people who carry firearms on them, and it's like I don't see them ever doing this, ever needing the quick release kind of thing. And
Well, you definitely, if you're going to need to get your gun out and unholstered quickly, you want it to release quickly.
yeah.
So,
Well, this one was unholstered, so I'm trying to visualize
Yeah.
how this even worked.
I don't know. You should have bought one. We'll have our show holster.
I don't carry. So do you carry?
It's none of your business, man.
Okay, well,
We're on the air. I'm always carrying. So on the opposite side of the headline tells everything, this story, the funny part is in the details. But
Yeah.
first, I want to ask you the question. Why might a person in a trial be deemed an unreliable witness?
Because they can't see.
Yeah, maybe they're blind, or maybe they're too close to the defendant, right? They're their cousins, so you feel like you're not going to get an unbiased opinion, something like that. Well, there's a Florida man, this is from MSN, who is accused. It says, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's funny. Maybe the headline is enough. A Florida man accused of a hot tub party murder once out of jail. He says that key witnesses were unreliable because they were drunk and high on ketamine and cocaine. Sounds like a pretty good hot tub party, Dick. Do you know anything about really cool hot tub parties?
Yeah.
Anybody ever been murdered in one of them?
No. Isn't that how Matthew Perry passed away?
Yes, and I believe
he's
he
on
was on
ketamine?
ketamine
Yeah.
in a hot tub. Yeah, but he didn't kill anybody except for himself.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucks, man. But I guess this is a pretty good defense if you think about it. He said he overheard one of the witnesses say, "Man, I didn't really see it, like, 'cause I was really high." I mean, I guess it could stand. I don't know. How could he possibly know what's going on? I'm sure this type of thing has happened before. I'm sure there's precedent, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. I think that's one of those strange things where it's in Florida and people are high.
Yeah. Well, if you will allow me to read a few of the details, because, yes, that's a funny headline, but the details are what really got me giggling. So his name is Mark Anderson, and he's 45 years old. A probable cause affidavit viewed by the Sun Sentinel says Kamitz, who is the person who was killed, arrived at Anderson's timeshare apartment at the invitation of the suspect and two other guests, Susan Schneider and Jack, who cares? You know what? Anyways, he said that they met up with the couple in Boca Raton nightclubs called The Funky Biscuit
Yeah.
and Fat Cats.
I like it. These are places that I've been
The
to
Funky
before.
Biscuit and the
Yeah.
Fat Cat?
I,
Yes, he said prior to that night, they had met at a Grateful Dead cover band called Crazy Fingers. That's what they called you in high school, right?
yeah.
Yeah, anyways, as I
Funky
read this...
Biscuit is what they called me.
Oh, Funky Biscuit?
Yeah, Funky Biscuit.
I was Fat Cat.
I mean,
These sound like some really upstanding people, though.
I know, I
mean,
love it.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is the part that was the best here. Dick, we had a story a few weeks ago about a woman who had an unfortunate backside incident on a commercial airliner, if you do remember, where she was unable to make it to the restroom and
yeah.
strung poop everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, she might be a pioneer because from CNN.com, they are reporting that is it Boeing, I believe, is experimenting with poop-powered jets.
Yeah, that's always been a thing.
Has it? Well, this story was dated
Yeah.
like 2 days ago. So have you flown?
Well, I know they're talking about
your truck's gonna be a hybrid. Is that what they're talking about?
I gotta fill it up, guys.
Right?
Wouldn't that be an awkward conversation? It's like, hey guys, how are y'all feeling right now? Oh, why'd you take us over there to the Golden Corral? Because I gotta get a good load for my truck.
Can you imagine though? You're on the flight and the captain comes over. This is your captain speaking. If you look outside to the right, you'll see the Grand Canyon. And just want to let you guys know we're running a little low on fuel. So if everybody could form a line to the right and let it rip. Form a line to the right, the lavatory, and don't hold back, folks, because we need all we can get.
I feel like that's from like a South Park kind of humor.
I guess it does. Well, it's AOO humor. It says so far sewage has been an untapped resource when it comes to SAF. What's SAF? I don't know. It says he thinks that poop is a missed opportunity. Quote, there's loads of it. It's everywhere in the world, and that's not in really good use at the moment, which makes it a very low valuable material, he tells CNN. So, you going to trust one of these poop-fired jets, or do you want your good old-fashioned, I guess it is technically a fossil fuel. Well, not really fossil. It's biofuel. That's what I mean.
It's one of those funny things where it's like, oh, all you got to do is just pop a squat, and it makes the engine go. And I don't think it's going to be that simple. I bet there's a process to it. It's not going to like directly feed into the engine.
But it'd be way cooler if it was, though, right? Because
I think it's hilarious because the fact that I could see a world where the pilot goes, if you need to use Russian, please use it.
yeah, in fact, we would prefer that you use it right now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're going to be really, really, I guess, resourceful about it, you would make it sort of on demand, right there from your passengers. And in theory, you really never would have to refuel. I guess eventually you would if you run out of food.
Yeah.
Because that's where it all starts, Dick. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Is it? I don't know. But I like it. You know what alarmed me the most, speaking of poop, was we had these people in from the Parks and Recs department, and then I didn't know it makes sense for like or big parks for the bathrooms to be compost bathrooms, but they had compost bathrooms here, and apparently they haven't been checked in a while, and it's like it smells like a total
Compost, yes, as
Yeah.
you would expect compost
And
to do. Yeah.
I honestly didn't know they would use those locally. I thought because you're in the city, they would always have running water somewhere, because the compost ones make sense out in like Big Bend and things like that, where they're not going to have a water pipe going all the way out 100 miles into the park. So the compost poopers make sense. You ever seen one of those?
I guess I haven't seen it at scale, right? I mean, I've seen it for.
Well,
I
it's
guess,
not like an outhouse, like an old school outhouse.
That's what I'm saying, is
Yeah,
that-
no, they have now where it's like
for campers and stuff. I think I've seen an individual one, but if we're talking on a large
Well, I mean,
scale,
I used to get ads for them all the time. I don't know why. But the ones that you put underground, you ever seen those?
hold on. So I got to understand
Yeah,
your browser history. You've got concealed handgun holsters and composting manure, or not manure, but waste
Here,
ads.
let me see.
Pointed at you.
Let me see if I can find the ones I was getting though, because I've seen the ones that are like standalone, where like
awesome.
you literally like kind of when you go to the campgrounds, it's like a little box. Mm-hmm. You ever seen those?
I'm pretty sure that I have.
So the ones I'm talking about though are like ones that you actually have to dig underground, and they're extreme. And I'm like, why do I keep getting these things? Like, let's see if I can find.
What they look like is just little miniature septic tanks, above ground septic tanks.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well, they make different versions. I found out because I was like, why do I keep getting this stuff? That's not the one I'm looking for. Give me like 2 seconds. It's ridiculous because it's 2 floors. So if you live in an area,
A 2-story one,
yeah,
huh?
like
I'd like to live on the top floor of that, by the way.
yeah,
Just going to say.
like it was kind of wild to me that that's how you'd have to build it. Let's see. I thought this was. Let me see if this is it. Really want you to see the one I found though, because it's ridiculous. Yeah, this is it. So I'm gonna pull it up for people so they can see it on the screen. I can't make the picture bigger, but as you can see,
Well, she looks very happy.
there's 2 toilets in the room above, and somehow this lady's getting to the compost.
Is that a room above, or is that just
It's-
like a poop deck?
Well, that's how it's designed. Is you can put the toilet up top like that, and then you have pipes going through it.
Oh, so this just looks like an indoor. I mean, I know it says composting, but it's like an indoor
It's like a
septic tank.
$3,000 septic tank.
Yeah.
just for poop though, no water.
And I'd be
no
afraid
shower.
that thing would leak. How nasty. Oh, so you don't put fresh water? It's got to have some
It
fresh
has
water
its
coming
own
into
system. It's its own
Yeah.
system, and
I'm really glad we're dissecting this.
I know it blew my mind because I kept getting it as an ad, and I go, why do I keep getting these as ads? Like, I'm not building a house. I'm not looking to go poop outside. It was so bizarre to me because it wasn't like normal composting toilets, which I can see, like when you go deer hunting, you go to the deer lease, you have it.
Yeah.
But this is like, I don't know where you would build one of these unless you're a hardcore, what do you want to call it, like earth person, where like you use compost for everything.
Hardcore earth person.
Well, you know how some people do compost piles, but compost piles take dedication to maintain. So it's like you got to be doing something almost every day, turning it. And
Yeah, you do. You got to be doing something every day, all right.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
No, absolutely. I've seen the compost pile where you throw out all the old banana peels
Yeah.
and orange peels, and
And you don't just let it sit there.
you got to turn it
you
with the
gotta turn
leaves
it.
and stuff so that it gets real festery and warm
Yeah.
and makes nice compost
when I
that you can
saw
put out on
this,
your mushroom farm.
When I saw this, I was like, who on earth would buy this? Unless you're like, again, it's not like I'm a survivalist.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming it's for people who are off the grid, so to speak,
Yeah.
right? And they don't have sewage run to their property, and this is probably a lot easier to do than to try and have sewage run to your house or your property.
Yeah.
So, well, unfortunately, it says that the quantity of sewage is one thing that can't be scaled up. So
like it.
they're going to have to combine this still with aviation fuel. That it would only meet about 5% of demand. So no matter how much you try, buddy, you're just not pooping enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty interesting, I think. But
Well,
I don't know that it's one of those planes I'd like to get on. Though, can you imagine the chemtrails behind that thing? Would they be a different color?
I mean, what I immediately think of is somebody like Elon Musk, and there's somebody out there who's like that kind of guy,
Yeah.
or girl or whatever, and it's just like, this is going to be the biggest answer to our what do you call it, a heating problem we have? What's it called? Global warming,
global warming,
change,
okay.
or whatever.
Well, but it would still emit.
I know, but I'm just like, I just love the idea of people giving presentations about pooping. I think
yes.
like I would love that. I would just sit there. I was like, is this guy still talking about pooping here?
Be giggling the entire time.
I would. Well, because like you think about
As we estimate the amount of feces.
well, you're
There's
not-
Dick
well,
laughing. He said feces.
He's doing it again. No, but like I remember listening to Elon Musk talking about batteries and how
Right.
we can, if we had the proper technology for batteries, that you could power whole towns because you could store all the energy during the day.
We can't even charge those things in the
And-
winter, and he wants to charge a whole town.
Well, no, it's just weird to me. And
That
I was
guy.
like, and
That
someone's
guy.
gonna be there and be like, look at what we could do. We could change our whole ecosystem if we just poop into this pipe. And that's that poor guy's job. Is
That's called a pipe dream right there,
yeah,
sir.
I mean,
Oh,
I like it.
yeah. Awesome. Okay, man, it's about a good time to take a break. When we come back, a woman gives birth in a very unusual way.
Is it in a septic tank?
Stick around to find out.
Hey there, listener. This is Dick with Audience of One with my buddy Andrew.
I'm here too.
I want to remind you guys real quick that our show is basically a free show,
It is.
but we accept donations
Well,
and sponsorships.
But it must be really, really hard to sponsor or donate to the show, though.
It's really easy. If I put a link in every description of our videos where you can
that's
download right then.
Oh.
It's really easy. And it's 100% legit. We are a 501c3 radio station. So if you want a tax deduction or anything like that, sponsor the show.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, and donate. That's how we keep the show free and how we're able to buy cool stuff for the studio.
Yeah, and besides that, the show's really good.
That's true. And yeah. All right, welcome back to Audience of One here on Lone Star Community Radio. If you didn't know, you can actually reach out to us whenever you want. audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. 936-463-2322 is our call text line. Leave us a message at any time to participate on Audience of One. We're hanging out. This is the second part of the show. It is, I think, is this the last show for January?
No, man.
No, we have one more
I think
Wednesday.
we got one more.
Fair enough. Oh, yeah, we do. It's the 31st.
I got you a calendar.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
How ironic.
sorry about that. But yeah. All right, we're back, and we covered a lot. We talked about hot
Yeah, I
tubs
suppose.
and stuff like that. And
Just a lot of odd stories out there, man, and our musings about it. Have you ever, speaking of musings, is there something that will kind of key you off when you walk into a restaurant that something's a little bit off? You know, it's something that maybe sets your alarm bells. Oh, maybe this was a good question for Eddie. I don't know, but you might think, Or on the flip side,
Well,
you go, oh yeah, this place is going to be great because of.
the only, actually, it happened today.
You don't say.
Well, so I went over to TX Vintage. It's a newer place in downtown Conroe. I've never eaten there. I've only been there for like social events, like networking and stuff like that.
Hey,
So I was like, I want to eat, and Andrew's taking forever to get here, so I'm gonna go grab some food, and I haven't been there. So right when I walk in, I knew I was in trouble because no one was talking to me. There was only about, I would say, 6 or 7 patrons there, and finally, when someone saw me at the bar, they come up to me and they go, "Hey," and before I could say anything, they're like, "We'll be right back. We got to go fix something."
oh, that's definitely not a good sign.
And I'm sitting there going like, okay. And I was just like sitting there. And I sat there for a good, I would say, good 5-6 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then a different person comes up to me and is like, "Can we help you?" And I'm like, am I in a restaurant right now?
What are you doing here?
Yeah. Like, and,
Are you expecting to get service?
oh, I'm telling you, that was really bizarre.
Yeah, I think
to me.
that's a pretty good sign that things probably aren't off on the right foot.
Yeah.
If you just can't get helped.
Yeah, right. And no
I
one
need
was
water
really-
in a menu, please.
Yeah, it's like it was right. Like I walked right in the front. Everyone saw me walk in, and it's like, do I not look like a person that orders food? And so I got a burger there. I was just getting whatever. I tried it out, and it was just weird to me.
So to me, the one that kind of sets off alarm bells for me just slightly are the freestyle soda machines. You know those? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Those are the ones where you can go up and start pushing buttons to make like all kinds of concoctions. Like when you're a little kid, you make the
Yeah.
suicide. Yeah, man, I'm always wondering like if they're doing that to distract you from the crappy food. You know, it's like here's a cola,
really.
but you
I
can
mean,
put
they have that at McDonald's.
you can put
sometimes.
yeah, exactly. My point.
So
You know, it's like here's a cola, but you can put orange and cherry and vanilla in it. And you're like, oh, great. And you don't realize how crappy your salad is. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm always a little suspect of they spent like 30 grand on this cola machine.
I always thought it was.
That's a bit
I always thought that
strange.
machine was a special gift from Coke.
A special gift from the gods.
Well, I'm more
From
of
Coke?
like.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean? Like they give it to a retailer as a gift? Like, here you go, Merry Christmas?
No, I always imagine it being like, oh, hey, we sell this guy a lot of Coke products. We need to test out these machines, because I always thought those machines, the main purpose was it's all in one. Because I know like old school Coke machines, like especially like when I worked at Sonic, that the Coke machine itself will look very small, but it required a lot of space
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah, it's for all the water and the bags of
So
flavoring, right?
I wonder, like, what's the advantage of using this one little unit? Because at the old units, everyone can kind of take their turns. Like, if you like Coke and you're on that side, I can still do the Dr. Pepper over here. But now there's only one spout.
One spout, that's right.
So-
Actually, I've seen it. I think I have seen the dual-headed
But you know what I'm talking
freestyle
about?
machine.
Like, I wonder why only certain places have it and why other places do not.
Exactly my
And
point.
I imagine, like you said, it's expensive. But
It is one of
I
those
always
things,
thought
though.
it was like you got selected by Coke to have this new machine.
I don't know. When you walk in, though, it is very noticeable. You're like, oh, they got a freestyle. And it is one of those things, too, where the kids do get quite enamored with it. And, there's a long line. You're like, come on, kid. How many different types of, orange flavoring are you going to put inside your Diet Pepsi? Come on, man. Anyways, that's usually...
No, it's an actual thing.
What is an actual thing?
Like, they call it the freestyle.
Yes. That's what...
I had no
You
idea.
think I'm just making this crap up?
They have an app.
What? Oh, so you're like, wait, hold on.
I'm finding a location with the freestyle.
Oh, so the app lets you know where the locations
Yeah.
are. I thought
See,
you could like
I
order
told-
pre-order
I
and then
don't
like
really get
scan
it.
your barcode and it would make your vanilla frosty right there in front of you.
Yeah, see, okay, now I found out. Okay, so what it is, it's the packaging is paperboard shell that's recyclable. It lowers the carbon footprint, and it's made in the USA. Yeah, I knew there's a reason why they were trying to make something like this.
Again, it's a red flag, everyone.
Really?
Yeah, in my opinion, anyways.
I always think the biggest red flag is the bathroom.
Well, yeah, so when you first walk in. Yeah, but I suppose you're right. If the bathroom's nasty, not a good sign either.
Yeah.
I always like my restaurant to have an old cigarette machine right in the front, too. That's a good sign. That's when you know the steaks are going to be aged well. Food's going to have lots of flavor. If I can get me a pack of Marlboro Reds
Yeah.
right there at the door, that's my kind of place, man. Anyways, hey, when you were a kid, man, did you like to dig holes? I think every little kid did, right?
I mean, I guess.
I seem to remember this one time at a neighbor's house. They had a tree that fell over, and so there was a huge recess in the ground, and we put water in there. Maybe there was already water in it and mud, and we just jumped in that thing and played. And what's as an adult, you look back on it, you're thinking, oh my God, I never would get in that thing. And I think it was one of those, every moment or rite of passage for a child, especially here in the United States, you're digging a hole, and an adult will say, if you dig long enough, you can dig to China. And, your little 6-year-old brain is like, wow, is this possible?
It is.
It is. I suppose in theory it is. But you always like to see how deep of a hole you can dig, either whether it's at the beach or whatever, right? I suppose. Well, this story caught my eye because there was a man from Brazil, I believe, João Pimenta da Silva, 71, who I guess was enamored with digging holes and trying to find things in the hole. He dug a 130-foot hole in his kitchen because he was looking for hidden treasure. Why else? Yeah. So think about this, though. 130 feet. That's a long way down, Dick. That's further. You've got to have some sort of, mechanism to lower yourself into this hole. I mean, that's pretty impressive. They said he had like a plastic chair and some ropes that he was lowering himself down into. That is really, really wanting to find the gold, man. And it's in his kitchen, too, which if you go over to this guy's house and you see that hole, I mean, you got to know something's up. Hey, bud, what's going on? What are you doing over there?
I mean, I think what's amazing about that is that he had encountered with his neighbors and stuff, and this isn't like an Andy Dufresne thing where he's just using a little spoon and going down in a hole. Like I'm looking at the pictures of it.
It is straight vertical, straight
Yeah.
down, people.
And it looks like he does have a system.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
like a system, like a little plastic chair and some pulleys or whatever to
Yeah.
lower himself down, straight down. Well, unfortunately, he fell in that thing and died. Died in his own hole.
I don't know. I mean, did he slip?
It says that he slipped out of his little chair, so I think he was probably hoisting himself down. Eek, 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 eek. One little wheel squeak at a time, lost his balance, and plunk, down he went.
It is pretty funny though if you think about like.
Did you show the picture of the hole?
Yeah,
it is.
I'm trying to. The website you gave me
is trash. It's the Daily Mail for UK. It is
trash.
It is a very impressively straight hole, because I have to admit that whenever you're digging a hole as a kid, it is hard to get those sides just right. And he didn't hit any rocks or anything. I mean, if he did, he was able to go right through it. But it's quite an elaborate system. He had right there in the floorboard, you can see like the tile.
But again, I mean, everyone has their own hobbies. I get it. I get it.
I guess this is his hobby.
He probably was doing a lot of meth at the same time.
Yeah, or maybe he was looking for a place to put his poo. Maybe he's trying to bury. It all comes back.
I like it.
It all comes back. That reminds me, there was a woman, she made news a couple weeks ago on TikTok. She was trying to dig some sort of tunnel under her house for storm shelter. At least that's what she called it. Of course, she puts the entire process on TikTok, and eventually people were getting concerned because it was quite a tunnel.
Yeah.
One, from all the construction noise, but two, the fact that it's probably going to be unsafe for herself and their neighbors with this massive hole underneath their houses. Yeah, but that made all the rounds last week. I don't know that I have a lot of the details on that one, but I don't know if you'd heard about it.
No, the only tunnel I heard recently was the one with the Jewish synagogue.
Yeah, I heard about this. There was I don't know many details other than the footage of some Hasidic Jews coming out of the side of a building was quite a sight.
Well, did you not see the Twitter thread?
No.
So there's a Twitter thread of a guy on Twitter going like, I think I hear people speaking Hebrew on my floor.
Oh, yeah, he kept, he swore, he's like, I hear people speaking
he-
Yiddish underneath my
And
floorboards.
he's tweeting that, like this is before they
I
discovered.
did hear about this, yeah.
He was tweeting that before.
Man, I swear there's people talking underneath my floorboards in Yiddish. Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
See, that's where I was thinking to myself, I was like, that is hilarious how you got justified of what you heard, because there is a moment when you're like, okay, now maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this is just something I'm hearing.
You called me weird a couple weeks ago because I thought perhaps maybe somebody might be living in my attic, but
There might be.
There might actually be.
Did they ever find out what was the true thing about that?
About what?
About the tunnel they were digging?
Again, I heard a little bit about it. I think it has some. Man, I probably shouldn't even wade into these waters that I don't know. I think it had something to do with.
I'm looking it up, see if there's an update.
Because I think it was two different sects of the Jewish religion were they warring or something? And they were building some sort of tunnel to get people in and out. I don't know. I don't have all of the facts on that. I didn't know we were going to bring that one up. I did hear about it, though.
Well, we were talking about tunnels.
I know, but I don't know.
Or
Sorry
holes.
about that. Holes.
Talking about holes.
Yeah. Well, the next story is definitely about holes, but not quite in the same way that you might be thinking.
Well, I'm looking at this one. There was an update.
Uh-huh.
So they discovered it. There's a full vacant order made by the police.
On the fly radio.
And
sit down, everyone.
Now they're filling the tunnel. So that was quick. That's weird.
Yeah, they came in and just poured cement in it, apparently.
That's weird. How do they not know? That's weird.
I don't know, man. They come running out there like you pour something into an ant hole and all the ants come flying out. What is it? Like melted, liquefied metal?
I mean, what's funny is like, especially in New York with everything being so close to each other, I can see some guy getting lazy and it's like, oh, I don't want to walk all the way around to this thing. I
don't think it was that simple. I think there was something else to it.
It sounded nefarious, though. They were talking about...
Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up. Or maybe I'll put a link to it on our site.
Wouldn't that creep you out? And like, you're part of the synagogue and like, all right, Andrew's cool. We can tell him. And you're like, what? Tell me what, guys? And it's like, we're going to tell you about the tunnel. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's like different levels of... the Tom Cruise religion. Was it Scientology?
Yeah.
All right, you've reached the level where we tell you about the tunnels.
And like, first off, why is there a tunnel? But where does it lead? Do I want to know?
That's the next level. Yeah. First is you know about the tunnel. Yeah. Second is you get to know where it goes, and then 3 is you get to use that potty at the end of that tunnel.
Great. The composting toilet.
That's right. So we're going to continue on this theme of holes, apparently, but holes of a slightly different nature. From CNN Health, an Alabama woman with a rare condition of 2 uteruses became pregnant in each uterus earlier this year and gave birth to twins last week, a day apart.
That's nice.
How freaky is that, man?
Well, you know what's even crazier about that is I imagine because she looks nice, and I imagine she's like, oh, I
She's
want
not single, Dick.
Well,
Come on.
No, I'm talking about like the idea, like she wants to get pregnant, and she
Sure.
goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, you got 2 fetuses, or not fetuses.
I think she probably knew from an early. I think that's something that you know.
Yeah, but
But you don't typically get pregnant in both of them.
But that's what I'm
Probably just
saying.
haven't-
Then when she
yeah.
got pregnant, they're like, I don't know how to explain this to you, but both of them have babies in it, and we don't know what's going to happen. That's scary.
I guess they could come out at the same time. Are they twins? I guess they are still technically
don't-
twins, right? I mean, because, oh my God, I'm going to show my ignorance. If they're in 2 different uteri
I don't know.
in that 2 separate egg, but I guess you can. That would be paternal twins, not identical
I don't even know
twins,
how it
right?
works. We're probably thinking of it like it's not 2 separate homes.
I think it is. That's what a uterus is, bruh. I'm pretty sure. And if you're that husband, are you feeling pretty good about yourself?
I'm just glad my kids.
Walking to work.
kids
Guess
and
what I
wife
did,
are
guys?
safe.
Guess what I did?
And it wasn't even that hard.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's an even bigger trick.
Hey, like that?
Yeah. You have a knack for falling into those last week and this week.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that hard, but it still happened, huh? That's impressive in and of itself.
Yeah.
No, I think if your
I'm
husband.
2 scoops good, dude.
Oh, by the way, it was the texture of the taco that really did it for you.
Yeah.
And then you switched to mushrooms, and I. If you don't know what we're talking about, just listen to last week's episode where
Love
Dick
it.
really detailed what he prefers in a taco.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I thought this was pretty interesting. First of all, I didn't know women could even have this condition, much less get pregnant in both of them at the same time.
Congratulations, and I'm happy the babies are safe.
Yeah, I think they were all, they were induced at 39 weeks. As far as I know, they are happy and healthy. But baby A is named Roxy,
Again, these
and baby
details
B
don't matter.
is named Hatcher. What? Hold on. You don't think Roxy and Hatcher is a detail of the story that we need to know?
Nope. I think it's pointless.
Oh, come on.
I think it's all pointless.
Well, do you need to know that Roxy was born vaginally and the other baby was born by cesarean section? Cesarean section. That's how you say that, right?
There can only be one.
I would have been really mad to not be able to get them both out naturally. I'm like, dang it. Because if the first one would have been C-section, you would have assumed they could probably just go in and get them both at the same time.
Yeah. Price of one.
Price
2 for the
of
price
one.
of one.
But what do I know? We know. I think
Nothing.
we're in way over our
Nothing.
head on this. By the way, I think I'm
Next.
probably going to get some.
Next.
So yeah, you know what? Let's move on to something that we
Oh, great. Next.
do know a lot about. Let's do clothing talk, Dick. Are you
I
ready
love
for
it, yeah.
clothing talk?
I'm a stylish guy. We know.
Okay, so have you ever put on a jacket or sweater? Say you got it for a gift. It usually seems like it's as a gift, or maybe you're trying it on in the changing room. I don't know. And you go to pull the zipper up, and you realize the zipper's on the wrong side, or it's maybe not the wrong side, but it's not the side that you're used to. You know?
This is a gift, and it's zipping fine.
Okay, well, I'm just using that as an example. You go to put the jacket on, you're like, wait, this zipper is on the opposite side of what I'm used to, or these buttons are on the other side. Have you never incurred this in your life?
No.
Oh my God. So this has happened a few times. It just happened to me over Christmas. I received a gift, a very nice sweater, I might add. But as I went to try it on, and show it off and spin around in front of the Christmas tree so everybody could
the
see me.
buttons are on the left.
This was a zipper, and the zipper was on the left-hand side. I'm expecting it to be on the right-hand side. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is odd. And apparently there are quote-unquote rules that divided by gender. Your zipper is either on the right-hand side if you're a guy, left-hand side for a girl.
Really?
Yes. And you're not aware of this.
No, I never even thought about it. So you got a ladies' jacket?
No, it's kind of, they've loosened up the rules, and it might be slightly different in different areas. I think this was a European style.
Oh.
So maybe it came from overseas. But for the most part, especially here in the United States, they have sides. And so I decided to look it up. And since this website is acting up, I'm going to have to do it off the top of my head. Apparently, it goes back to women breastfeeding. Yep, holding a child with their right arm, needing to be able to unzip
Interesting.
fully with their left. Thus, they put buttons and zippers on their left side of their clothes. I thought that was pretty interesting, man.
Okay.
Did you know that the button was invented in the Middle Ages?
I hope.
That's the only part I can get up on this website, so I'm doing this off the top of my
Yeah,
my head. But I thought that was pretty interesting, though.
But I would find it interesting if they actually followed that today. But it sounds like
For the most part, they still do. That's why I was still shocked.
so you got a lady's jacket.
You know what? I think it's a lady's jacket.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I think it's not. It's just, I think it's
only for
it's
your
those crazy. It's
clothing.
those crazy euros, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
I wish they actually stuck with it. That would make a lot of sense.
Well, what side is your zipper on right now? I bet you it's on the
Right side.
right-hand side. Yeah.
So
I think that's the correct side. I've probably gone back and forth.
Is this a lady's jacket?
I don't know. No, I think that's the side it's supposed to be on, and then the left-hand side for ladies, right-hand side for men, left side. I think that's the case.
I don't know.
Yeah. You know what, though, Dick? Staying on this topic of clothing, I want to make an admission here to all the listeners. I did make a transition recently.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And it is clothing related. It's not the type of transition that gets Dick really excited.
Yeah.
He loves talking about that. No. I made the transition from being a backside wallet guy to front pocket wallet guy.
Really? You have a wallet that small?
I did this about 2 years. I don't think it has anything to do with the size. The front pockets are generally just as big as your back pockets, right? I mean, maybe even they're just different shaped.
Yeah, I don't like it. Why would I? Because I always feel like anything that's in your front pocket, it's so much harder to get out.
So I was always pocket or a wallet in the back pocket guy. So much so that over time my jeans would have the little square on my my rear end. Always. That's just because that's the way it wears. And I don't know why a couple years ago I think I decided to switch it to the front. Maybe because I heard it's better for your back. Because if you have this big bulging wallet, when it's so full of cash, you kind of start to get the wallet bulge, and wallet bulge isn't good for your back, and thus you sit sideways. So I don't know if that's the real reason or not. I honestly can't remember why, but I tried it in my front pocket, and I stuck with it. And now this is usually one of those things that people don't do, right? It's one of these things that if you're a back wallet guy, or if you wear your watch on the left hand, you don't switch it to the right hand and vice versa, you're set for life. But I have made the transition. And I'm here to tell you, folks, once you go to the front pocket, you don't go back. You don't go back. It's also better. People don't pickpocket you nearly as much.
Nearly as much?
Yeah, I mean, you can still get pickpocketed, right? But
I don't
it's
really,
better for
I
that?
never really thought about it.
Well, you're thinking about it now, aren't you?
And I think I don't care.
I would like for you, this is the AOO assignment of the week. I want you to put that wallet in the front pocket for the next week.
No, I'm going to hate it,
And
too.
next week, you come back and report to me about your experience.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah. I will say this. I got a new wallet for Christmas, and it is larger than my old wallet. And my old wallet, a bit childlike in the fact that it had Velcro on it, so every time I would open it up, it would go...
I remember that.
Kind of reminds me of when you're, 6 years old getting your first wallet. But it was small and compact, and so it fit nicely in my front pocket. This new wallet, while very nice, is a bit on the large side. So I don't think I'm going to move back to the backside pocket, but it's making it a little tight in the front. Dick, have you heard of cyber kidnapping?
I like it already.
Okay. Well, it's kind of weird. Cyber kidnapping basically involves what you would think it is. It's kidnapping over the internet, right?
Okay.
No one is actually physically abducted.
Is it like your accounts get kidnapped?
No, it's usually it's some form of extortion. They're trying to get money from you. And they basically will threaten you with some sort of extortion scheme and blah, 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 blah. It's called cyber kidnapping. It says, unlike traditional abductions, virtual kidnappers have not actually kidnapped anyone. Instead, through deceptions and threats, they coerce victims to pay a quick ransom before the scheme falls apart. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I guess it's one of these things of, you better pay or else, or we're going to release these AI nudes of you. You better do it. I guess that's how it works. I don't know. Well, this is a really interesting take on this because here recently, a man named Kai Zhang, he was reported missing in Utah in late December.
Okay.
And this is a bit of a twist on the traditional, if you can call it that, cyber kidnapping, where they contact, and this is apparently kind of typical with foreign exchange students, of which he was, they contact both families at the same time. They'll contact his family and they'll contact him and say, hey, they're in peril. And it keeps going to the point where they actually will force these people to sort of kidnap themselves, put themselves in a dark room, make them take pictures, make it look as though they're being kidnapped, and then they'll send those pictures to their family and vice versa. It's crazy, but this is like a new version of extortion and kidnapping. It is crazy, though, man. Really, really weird.
I like it.
Yeah, they demand a ransom from the family while telling students to isolate themselves and monitor them through a cell phone, including the use of FaceTime or Skype sessions, blah, blah, blah. The victims are also convinced to take photos of themselves and make it appear as though they have been taken captive. This is the new way to make some cash for the station, man. I can see it here. We're going to start posting pictures of you in a dark...
I get a phone call and, like, Andrew's in trouble. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't work with you. You'd be like, so?
I mean, he's a tough guy.
Did he fall in that hole in his kitchen?
Yeah, he's a tough guy.
Yeah. Tell him to crawl out. I told him not to dig the hole.
He gets to make fun of my composting toilet.
Yeah, onesies, full disclosure, we had an entire conversation about this composting toilet off air in the break. We are fascinated with it.
Yeah. I still don't understand it.
I'm not entirely, because it's definitely not for camping.
No,
it's for indoor use.
it's for you're building a survivalist shack.
Although it would be kind of funny if it was outdoors.
Well, they make them. They make them where you can do it.
Yeah.
But the ones I've been getting are like industrial ones where you have to do a piping system and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, that's so hardcore just for compost. But then again, I don't really know anything, so I'm not too afraid. But the cyber kidnapping thing is funny to me.
It is.
Because those are the stories that, like, after a while you're like, that can't be real.
I know it doesn't seem like it. And I've also heard where AI will take snippets of your voice and make it sound as if it's you talking.
Oh, I believe it.
And they'll play audio saying,
all
"Mom,
that.
I'm trapped somewhere." Blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And of course, the parents immediately go, "Oh my gosh!" and send cash to whomever. And
I'm still shocked.
The first thing you need to do though is just text your child and say, "Are you okay?" Call them, "Are you okay?" Because if they answer the phone and go, "Yeah, I'm fine," then you hang up on the dude.
Yeah, especially when you're doing things like meeting people from Facebook Marketplace or doing that kind of stuff. Like, that still amazes me that no one takes the normal precautions about meeting strangers from the internet.
Say that again.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I scrolled down in the story. I thought I could let you alone for 30 seconds. I'm sorry. Continue.
But no, basically, I was just saying that people don't know how to protect themselves from meeting strangers on the internet.
They really don't. But funny that you say that. Quote, I want foreign exchange students to know that they can trust the police to protect them and to work with the police to ensure that safety of their family here and abroad. That's what Police Chief Casey Morin said.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure how this all works, though. I mean, I get it. I get the general idea. It's extortion. You're sending pictures. But to me, it just seems so kind of flimsy to me. I mean, you know what, Dick? I want my extortion to be good old-fashioned extortion.
There's some stupid people out there.
Where they're beating you up. Come on, man. Come on. We can't do this.
Fair enough.
Virtual. All right, here is the quick hit at the end of the show. Were you aware that Nicolas Cage, at one time, bought a dinosaur skull? Sounds like something he would do, right?
Sounds like something.
It was like some Mongolian dinosaur skull. Well, as it turns out, it was stolen. And he had no idea.
That's something he would do.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't steal it.
Well, I'm saying he'd buy something that was stolen.
Yeah, he was crazy like that. Apparently he did this back in 2007, and he bought it for $276,000. Doesn't seem like a real good use of resources, in my opinion. But I guess if you're Nicolas Cage, isn't he kind of known for being just out there and spending money on whatever?
It's his money.
Yeah, I don't know that I would spend it on a Mongolian dinosaur skull. Although, you know what? No, I would. Now that I think about it, that is pretty dope. Hey, come here and check out my Mongolian dinosaur skull and this 135-foot hole in my kitchen.
Yeah, look what I found.
Look what I found. Ladies, form line to the left.
Yeah, for the composting toilet room.
Yeah, but apparently there was some sort of lawsuit. Obviously, it did not specify that Cage was the owner, but Cage's publicist came out and said, "Yeah, man, he bought that skull back in 2007." Thanks a lot, publicist.
Yeah,
jeez.
Isn't there like a law where you can't have human skulls?
I hope not.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a law. Like,
no, I think you're right. No, I don't think you can have human skulls
or human remains,
not without a license.
Yeah, something like that. And Dinosaur
How do you get
bones.
that license, though?
Become a doctor?
Oh, oh God, I hope not. If that's all it takes.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But dinosaurs, I imagine, are the same way. It's like we have to have proper documentation. And
I would imagine.
Because I always feel like celebrities get conned into a lot of stuff that we don't hear about because they have money. And like imagine some drug dealer going like, hey man, you've been buying ketamine from me for 10 years, but I got something that might interest you. You're like, what? I got a T-Rex skull. What? Yeah, man, $300,000, all yours. It can be here by Tuesday.
Well, apparently it was very highly sought after because he outbid Leonardo DiCaprio for the skull.
Okay, so this is actually at an auction.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, I don't think he knew it was illegal. Obviously, he
Well,
he
it's
bought
like,
it legally,
it's like
but
Mike Tyson getting a tiger.
yeah, did he really though?
Yeah, he really got a tiger.
Oh, he's just leaving up to the bit now from the movie, right?
No, that was a real thing.
Okay, so they made that movie
After he had the tiger.
because he had the
Yeah,
tiger.
there's a great
Or that
picture.
scene, I
Look
should
up
say.
Mike Tyson tiger, and you'll see like one of those famous photographs when he's like right in his like beginning of his prime, like right at the beginning of his career.
Is this pre-face tattoo or after
Pre-
face
I think it's
tattoo?
pre-face tattoo.
Okay, was this before he smoked 10 joints a day or after?
After.
Okay,
But yeah, he talked about how
pre-face tattoo.
how shady it
after
was.
weed. All right.
How shady it was to get the tiger. Yeah, because I can't believe you've never seen him with the tiger here.
Oh no, I have. I didn't know if that was a bit or just something he posed with.
right there.
Oh no, he's in his prime there.
Yeah, I'm saying like this is
you
legit.
think he thinks he could kick that tiger's ass?
I mean, I could see him thinking it, but I think anyone. I mean, it's just funny. to me.
Remember, we talked about humans and what animals they thought they could beat up in a fight.
There
I
you
bet
go.
Mike Tyson is at the top of this list of animals he thinks he can beat up, including that tiger.
But yeah, I like it. There you go.
Anyways, man, that's all we have got time for this week, guys. We were back to our normal idiocy
Yeah.
here, and it felt good. Felt good to do a show, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you, and we'll see you every Wednesday at 10 a.m. here at Lone Star Community Radio.
Remember to like, share, and follow the show, everyone. Until next week. Bye-bye.